major movie premiere took over the UK capital yesterday, and it had fans all around the world feeling a mixture of bittersweet emotions. Now, yes, after 6 seasons of the TV series, 2 feature films, and 15 years of an entertainment franchise that has become a British institution, Downton Abbey celebrated its end with the 3rd and final feature film in the franchise, which premiered in a very rainy London last night, but spirits were in no way dampened by the bad weather. And the Rice correspondent Judita Dasilva was there and captured some of the emotional words of the creator and writer Julian Fellows said to the audience of fans and press at the premiere screening. Take a look.
Very truly, and I hope that all of us will remember Downton. I feel that we are part of the Downton Club, and when we meet staggering along on our sticks in 20 years, that will be the factor that binds us. But anyway, thank you again for supporting the show.
All right, and here for more on this story and more international film and TV news is our Rice correspondent Judita Dasilva, who joins me now from London. Hello, Juju.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. All right, so last night did not exactly have the most appropriate weather for a premiere, but is it just a testament to Downton Abbey's popularity that the fans still turned out in their numbers?
I mean, yes, it was, because when I tell you it was torrential rain, like even when I made my way down to Leicester Square, where the large Odeon is, because that's where they do all the big premieres in London, I was considering turning back because it was like a tsunami, but the entire red carpet was dark red because it was sodden with water. But everyone was there braving the rain. By the time the stars started filing in, all the fans were drenched because they were soaked through, because in the UK, you can have 5 seasons in the space of 10 minutes. But the spirits were high because really it is the end of an era. This is a 15-year-long franchise, and a lot of the stars of the franchise were virtually unknowns, if not complete unknowns, when they first came to this series. So it's kind of like not knowing where everyone's going to go to next, and feeling like you've grown up with a TV show that became a movie, and it's finally got the end to it. And a lot of the time we discuss about film and TV shows, people not knowing when to walk away. But you've got to give this classic British series and the classic British team behind it, knowing when enough is enough and stepping away from it.
Okay, so now with the end of Downton Abbey, looking back on what the franchise achieved, is that something that could be replicated, with where the industry is now?
I don't know, because remember, they came in before the likes of Netflix had really got a chokehold on entertainment. It was traditional TV viewing. It was old school. It was like reminiscent of shows back in the day, like Upstairs, Downstairs. It tells of class warfare. It tells of a different era in a very British climate, and people who have this kind of Anglophiles who are fascinated by British culture, they tapped into it. And it just had a series of actors that were just perfectly pitched. Even Dame Maggie Smith, who died after the last film, she's really present in this film because you just feel like they formed a family that captured the imagination. I don't know if the way things happen now, where everything is so formulaic and franchises are so contrived, this was an organic love that grew over a long period of time. And that nature of truly organically, naturally finding your way to the love of IP doesn't really exist anymore, because most people will pull a pre-existing popular book off the shelf and turn it into a movie or into a TV franchise. So I don't think we'll see the likes of it again. We'll just see a new landscape finding its own way to create long-lasting IP.
All right, so it's a wrap and it's a wrap. Okay, so from TV to movies now, and the Michael Jackson biopic has run into some controversy in the shape of Michael's daughter, Paris Jackson, who had some criticism for one of the stars of the film, didn't she? Tell us more.
Yeah, so 2-time Oscar nominee Coleman Domingo is going to play Joseph Jackson, the father of Michael Jackson, in this film being directed by Antoine Fuqua, who we know as the director of the Equalizer films. So yeah, it was an interesting one because he does an interview with People and says that Paris Jackson, the times he's met her briefly, she's been very warm. She's been on set helping with the film. And then straight away, she goes on and puts out an Instagram story and says that that's just weird because I haven't been on set, so don't say that I have. And also, the one time she saw the first draft of the script, she gave notes that were ignored. And so she decided to back off and mind her own business. That caught waves, and so she went back on Instagram to qualify her statements to say, no, really, I've had no involvement in the film. They gave me a first draft. I had issues because it wasn't it wasn't keeping to the truth of the actual story. I gave them notes, and they, in unceremonial terms, told me they weren't interested. And so she decided she'd wash her hands of it and get on with her life. So now don't pretend like she endorses it when you know she categorically doesn't.
And that's weird for them not to actually take her notes into consideration. Okay, so is this like an embarrassing scenario for Lars Fakwa, who is directing the film, and also the studio behind it, to have an important family member distance herself from the project? Because actually, if she's against the project for having, some discrepancies, then that means her word might actually even, should I say, cause the movie to flop or the biopic to flop.
You're completely right, and also she directly actually addressed this, and I encourage people to go and watch her full statement, the longer one that she gave, because she said that the film caters to a very specific section of Michael Jackson's fan base, her father's fan base, and they will accept it no matter what, no matter how inaccurate it is. But for her, it is not true to what actually happened. So if you want to play that game where it's fiction, it's popcorn, it's entertainment, fine, do your thing, but I want no part of it. But it is very embarrassing, because should they ever make the mistake of trying to market this as something that's true, the definitive tale of Michael Jackson, because remember, there are going to be 3 parts of this film. They want to chart his entire life story. So if from the beginning, his daughter is saying they aren't telling the truth, she's completely shifted the tone that many people will digest this film. So people who kind of fell out of love with Michael Jackson are the Black fans after he's changed his skin color, music fans when he deviated from the sound of Off the Wall, who thought that maybe I will find truth in this film, now know that they will not. And that's very damaging.
Wow, very damaging indeed. Okay, so let's move on to Will Smith, who continues to stage his comeback after the disgrace of the Oscar slap that shook the world. And it looks like a new movie deal could help him do that. Tell us more.
Yeah, so he signed a first look deal with Paramount Studios. And in recent times, we know that Paramount is really going for big budget IP. They want to build up their catalog of franchises. Remember, Paramount is the one that houses both Top Gun and Mission Impossible. They're the darling of Tom Cruise. So they want to kind of carry on that kind of fame. And if you've seen what Tom Cruise has done for Paramount, they're thinking, who's the Black equivalent of Tom Cruise? It used to be Will Smith. Maybe not only we can bring his salvation back, we can also tap into the fact that this guy is a great box office name and catch him on the upswing. So this first look deal is with the production house he owns with Jada Pinkett, Westbrook, and they're specifically targeting IP-driven and franchise movies, and he already has 2 in the works. One with the writer of the Dune movies, and another one based on Chuck Hogan's novels, Devils in Exile. So the wheels are already turning. So we can expect to see what the new phase of Will Smith will look like under the umbrella of Paramount.
Okay, so it's undeniable that the shine on Will Smith's star is not what it used to be. In fact, he even released an album based on a true story, and it was a flop. But realistically, is there a road back for Will to regain the level of stardom he used to have? I feel like it may not happen, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, go with that feeling, because a lot of people feel that way, because this is the key thing that a lot of analysts, and including myself, have said about this. Will Smith never followed the formula of when a big star has a public disgrace, which is you need to disappear for a period.
Exactly.
What that disappearance, remember back in the day, people would always go to rehab. What that does is say that it's a period of reflection. I'm trying to become a better person. The next time you see me, I will have changed. That's what the formula is. And because this is a public industry, optics are everything. They fuel perception and therefore guide opinion. Will Smith never had a period of disappearance after the slap, which makes people feel that there is a contempt to him, there's an arrogance to him. I, at the beginning, said logistically, because he had Emancipation already released by Apple TV Plus right around the Oscars, because they assumed he's guaranteed to win the Oscar for King Richard. Let's use the upswing of that. He had to promote the movie. I was expecting he would disappear after that. But as you said, he put out the album. I don't know how this will work when you haven't been able to endear yourself to your loyal fan base because they feel you've been contemptuous in the way you rebuilt yourself after the slap.
All right. I guess we wish him luck and see how it plays out. Thank you so much for your time, Judita, on the show today. All right, so that's it on the show today. Thanks so much for watching. It's been fun hanging with you guys. I am Iken now, and you're about to catch us every weekday at 5 p.m. right here on the Rise News channel. So until tomorrow, this has been the Rise 360. Thank you for watching.